What's up, everyone? This is Brad Borne, and this is the 18th World Through Report. Sorry this is coming in a few days late. Friday was my birthday. Sunday was my wife and I's first wedding anniversary. But I do have a few things to show you since we were away from the computer the whole this whole weekend. Like I say, I'm a compulsive doodler, so I have a few little things that are on my mind. And I could show you a few of those sketches. So you have, so this is an interesting move because this is the only one that was in World 1 but wasn't in World 2. In World 1, when you came up to a ledge, Fancy Pants Man did a weird little peering out thing. I never really liked that, and I think there was a glitch in World 2 that disabled it, and I never fixed it because I just really didn't care for it. But that's something I want to try to bring back if I have time, because that is a pretty long animation. And so I'm just thinking how, Fancy Pants Man would actually do that, where his center of gravity would be. It would be over the cliff, a bit closer on top of land. And you can see it's, when I'm actually doodling things for the game, I can't just, draw pretty pictures. I actually have to think of, how Fancy Pants Man would transition to this animation, how the motion would be. And even things like, do I want to make it really conservative and take the safe route and just make a boring animation, or go way too stressed with all stretch out the movement and all, and then if that goes too far, then it just looks out of place. So there's a balance there, and I have to keep in mind every other animation and make sure it looks consistent, all these crazy things. So I actually end up drawing a lot of these little animations, and these all look really bad. I can honestly say I really haven't really figured out how I want him to look on a ledge right now. So I'd say this one up here is probably the best one, but that would probably be more part of the animation, when your momentum's going forward, and then, where would Fancy Pants Man settle at? It's not really in his character to lose his balance, then he wouldn't just sit there, so I don't know, I'll have to figure something out. And then another animation that's been giving me problems when I'm trying to do them in Flash is the frog, and when that happens, I'll sit down with a sketchbook and start drawing out the other animations. So you can see the top, when the frog gets squished, I want his eyes to kind of bug out a little bit. But, and then again, it looks completely different when it's actually running in the engine, because it's a very quick thing, and you can barely see little details. So that's something I have to think of, how quickly something's going through, what players' eyes actually catch. So it's very interesting, the difference of what you're drawing and what actually you see, depending on where the focus is and all that, and it's something, it's really just trial and error getting that right. And you can see the frog. So I was trying to keep the frog more as a round object, like the spiders, so you kick them and they can bounce around if their health isn't all the way down. That's something new I'm trying to do. Instead of just having a heavy stomp kill everything right away, I'll actually have health to all the baddies, so they'll stay stunned and bounce around until you take all their health away. And I'm gonna have to figure that out. Something else I'm gonna have to fiddle with, but that shouldn't be too hard. And unlike the lean animation, I actually like how the frog looked. So instead of just being a ball now, his his legs and his arms, they'll kind of trail behind, and I think that's good because he's got these really long legs that I can't just bunch together like the spider. And then his stunned animation, it's coming out of that little safe ball shape, so he's actually going to kind of lay down, and I'm drawing most of the levels kind of isometrically from a little higher point, so it should actually look really good on the ground. But again, I'm going to have to draw it in, see how it looks running. So again, you guys can see, the behind the scenes sketches here, and then see them later running, and you can see how close the finished animations are to what I was thinking before. And you saw even earlier than that, just placeholder images. So hopefully you can get a pretty good feel for the actual flow of me putting new content into the game. And so since this is so late, I was going to do something a bit special today, and I'm going to go ahead and change the video feed, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, so we're back, and lucky you didn't have to wait through that video rendering, but I'm going to show you guys how I actually have the levels in the Fancy Pants Adventures set up in Flash. And I've actually been getting a lot of questions, what do I use to make games, and how do I animate and all that, which I still get a lot. But so this is actually where everything is created, and I don't use anything special. It's just done straight into Flash. This is just Flash CS5, but you can use Flash MX or anything later. And I actually use pretty simple programming methods because I don't really care for one. It's just as long as I get the game made, as long as it runs pretty well, I'm happy, and the game is getting made and it's running pretty well. And the actual displaying of the graphics takes up so much more time than any of the code does, so it really doesn't matter. But I'm going to show you I have preloader, first frame, and then all the code here. You can see I try to break it up a bit so I can find it easier. I'm not going to show you guys any of it. And all the special stuff, this is in fact everything as it says right there. These are where I put the levels, and when I do, I actually load the entire level at once. So here you can see the level 1 from World 1, and you saw in the earlier video that was showing off the pencil, I used this, and this is actually just thrown straight into the World 3 engine from World 1, and it works pretty well. Everything else inside of it's new, any code that's been updated for World 3. And you can see this is actually, you can see up here I have the sounds being loaded in and all the core clips. Where did they go? Aha. Up here. So this is everything that isn't introduced with the level, anything that needs to be attached to the stage. And so I don't actually use any of this to start off with. And you can see I actually have a lot of levels. A lot of these are debugged, so don't take this as anything close to the final number of levels.